in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home. I got a new day down in my soul. I got a new day down in my soul. I've got a new day down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home. I feel the power down in my soul. I feel the power down in my soul. I feel the power down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home. I love the silence down in my soul. I love the silence down in my soul. I love the silence down in my soul, and the whole wide world is my home, and the whole wide world is my home. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. We're ready to start our services officially. We are in our second week of our Stories of Triumph theme. Fantastic. So please join us in singing. We have a song that Jamie Lula taught us in June when he came here to play. We're going to sing that one again. We're still learning it. Yes. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Let's do that again. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. We are the ones. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. Do that again. I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. We are the ones. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap.
Come on, stand up and sing it.
We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest we reap. Yes.
You know, we grow them really good here at Unity Walnut Creek, don't we? Our home folks, and it's so precious to have Tyler and Lisa and Larry. Thank you so much for being our musicians this morning and sharing your love and your talent with us. And we have a very special guest for you today. Stephen, I have to look at my notes. Walters, yes. Stephen has been with us before, and I know you guys are going to remember Stephen, and we are so blessed by your presence. Thank you so much, Stephen. So you'll get to hear Stephen, and he has CDs out on the patio. So after service, if you fall in love with him, take him home, okay? Well, at least a little piece of him, okay? Thank you. And for you guys at home, hi there. Turn around and tell our folks at home hello. We are so blessed by your presence, even though it's not in the physical. We know you are there with us spiritually in love and light. Thank you so much for being with us. Oh, take a breath. Okay. Sometimes it's so exciting to get in here, and then we settle down. So, unity is a positive path for spiritual living. That's why we come here, is to help us along that path. And at Unity, we have a mission statement. And that statement is, in a loving community, we empower spiritual growth by modeling and teaching universal spiritual principles. And to follow that, we have a statement of faith. And it's going to be on the board right behind me. Sink down into your hearts for just a moment. That special place that you share with Spirit. And together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Now sink a little bit deeper, and again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And now it's our time to welcome anyone who is here for the first time. So if you're a first-timer here and you feel comfortable, we have a gift for you. So if you feel comfortable, please raise your hand. And we have a welcome packet. It has a wooden necklace in it that is made by hand by one of our congregants. And if you choose to wear that necklace today, our welcome ambassadors will be able to identify you, as long as the rest of us too, and we're going to come up and tell you good morning. So if you'd be willing to raise your hand now, that'd be great. And also there's a connection card. Does anybody see any hands raised I've missed? Okay. There's a connection card in the packet. Please take it to the bookstore for an additional welcome gift. And if you'd rather, you can always get that gift packet in the bookstore instead of raising your hand in here. Now for everybody else, there's a connection card in the seat pocket in front of you. Please fill that out. If you have a prayer request, our prayer chaplains will be praying with you throughout the week. You can also share any feedback that you have. If you request information about anything around Unity, any of our services, you'll be contacted by a staff member during the week. And now it is time for us to greet our neighbors. So you can stand up and tell those around you good morning till you hear the gong.
Hello, my name is Casey, and I want to share some exciting opportunities happening in our community. Would you like to learn more about the business of your spiritual community? Please join us today immediately following the 11:30 service in the sanctuary. We'll be having a community gathering with our Board of Trustees. Please bring your questions and feedback. Unity will be providing lunch for the homeless people staying at Concord Adult Shelter. We are seeking team of members to help us prepare sandwiches on the second Saturday of each month. If you would like to be part of this, please see today's bulletin. Unity returns to the Summer of Love for our fall fundraiser. Auction donations will be needed now. Please visit the guest service table at the patio for copies for donation form. I would like to invite Tyler to the platform. I knew he was here, but I didn't know where.
Chilling out over there. Thank you, Casey. Good morning, everybody. So we have so much music, and we have an opportunity for even more for you. Our summer concert series is concluding next Sunday. I hope you all got to enjoy the first two. We had Jamie Lula in June. We had the wonderful Charlie Thweet last month. But we're going to conclude this coming Sunday with our own homegrown folks, just what Linda was talking about, all the talent that we have here. And what it is, it's the final week of the Stories of Triumph series, right? Today is our second Sunday of those, and we'll have the final ones next Sunday with two more great stories. And so the theme that the musicians are bringing to this concert is also songs of triumph, songs of spiritual growth, overcoming, finding your place, really coming home. A lot of beautiful songs and tremendous variety of different kinds of music. And they're all people that you've loved enjoying here up on Sunday, like John Shin and Ronnie Ong and Mitch Monroe. But there's also some other folks who maybe you haven't heard as often and didn't even know had great musical talent. We're bringing them on too. So what we're going to do is we will have, like we did last time for Charlie Thweet, we'll have a potluck lunch in the community room in between the 11:30 service and the concert. So you have two things to do. One, figure out what you're going to bring to the potluck, and you can put it in the fridge beforehand before you come in for 11:30 service. And two, mark your calendars next Sunday, the 27th, 2 o'clock, for Songs of Triumph. Be here. Thank you.
Find out more about these and other activities online and in today's bulletin. And now let's enjoy another musical selection.
Thank you. Good morning. Or, yes, it's still morning, yeah. So, yeah, we'll call it morning. So I was thinking about this subject today, Stories of Triumph, and here's one I think we can all relate to. It has to do with when we all came into the world as babies. That was a pretty big triumph, just to be born, right? And so I want to give us all credit for that, and also put in this idea, what would, if a baby was 6 months old and would sing a song, what might that song sound like? And I thought it might go like this. My mama threw me out the day I was born. I cried just like a baby. I had to leave my happy home. You know, I've been 9 months in a place so nice and serene. Now I'm blind, cold, and naked, and I think I got a right to scream. It's my first day out. I've already had enough. No one said life would be easy, but no one said it'd be this tough. At 6 months old, they threw me in the pen. I got out on good behavior, but they put me right back again. I swear now, people, I swear now I've been framed. Not to mention I got this rash on my bottom, and Lord, it's inflamed. They pinch me and squeeze me, feed me all kinds of nasty stuff. No one said life would be easy, everybody, but no one said it'd be this tough. You know what I'd say if I could talk? I'm getting out of this joint as soon as I learn to walk. Watch out, baby's gonna play the blues now. Listen here now, people. Hear me when I say, gonna find me that doctor that smacked me that first day. I'm gonna grab that dude, hold him upside down by his heels, smack him on his bottom and say, now, you see how that feels. I hit the bottle, then went on to harder stuff. No one said life would be easy 3 times now. But no one said it'd be this, no one said it'd be, no one said it'd be this tough. Baby's got the blues.
We're going to take all that joy and bring it into our meditation. Thank you, Stephen. That was great. And Annie Love is here to begin our meditation time with the prayer of St. Francis. So we invite you to prepare for some inward time.
So let's take a deep breath together. Dear Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying to ego that we are born to eternal life.
Only one thing always here. Seamlessly unbroken. That which in this world appears. These words never will be spoken. Listening. Listening. To the silence.
So as we enter that silent time, we listen deeply. We listen with hearts wide open to all the contrast in the world, We allow it, we embrace it, and we turn it toward the light in the silence. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sorrow, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. It is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. And so it is.
Worlds arise and pass away. Like waves on an endless ocean. Only one thing I can say is true. I'm not who I think I am. Listening. Listening to the silence. Sing.
We have a treat for you today, the second in our series of the stories of triumph. Has anybody ever felt anxious? Just once or twice? You're going to find some resonance with Larry Curtin's story. I want to invite Larry Curtin up. And has anybody ever felt otherized in any way? You ever felt like other? Yeah, you're going to find some resonance with the story that Zula Reeves has to share with us today. These are both really important stories, I think, for this time. in our history, this time in our nation. And so we invite you to settle in and receive.
I'm Larry, and this is my story.
I grew up in Pleasant Hill in a tight-knit family that included my mom, my dad, my brother Mike, and my sister Sharon.
I was a late bloomer and the baby of the family. Mike is 5 years older than me, and Sharon is 11 years older.
My dad was overprotective. He believed there was danger outside the family nest, and his message was always, don't go too far.
Well, my mom's message was, get out there and explore.
There was a battle of these two attitudes between my parents.
For better or worse, I've carried that battle of their attitudes on within me.
When I was in high school, I experimented with smoking marijuana, and it sent me into a horrible panic. I ran out of the house looking for relief anywhere.
Afterwards, I had anxiety symptoms every time I drove to work. When the symptoms started to fade away, I was convinced to try it again.
But I had the exact same reaction and went running out of the house.
The next day, I sat in a daze in the backyard all day, and I vowed myself I would never smoke, drink, or do anything that would make me feel so out of control.
Those contrasting parental attitudes of adventure and caution are not always at war within me. Sometimes they dance together in just the right combination.
I've always loved to drive, and I like to help people who are in trouble.
As a teenager, I got involved in REACT, a CV communication system that rescue groups used.
When I was 18, I developed my own volunteer emergency road rescue service.
Helping others in this way was much more of an authentic pastime for me than getting high.
School was okay, unless I was asked to do a presentation. One time in social studies class, I stood up and I looked at the class to read my one-page synopsis, and
I froze. I completely lost my voice and even my breath.
Contrary to my dad's stay close and stay safe warnings, my first move out of the house was all the way across the country to Boston.
With my big sister and her boyfriend, Dave.
I was in my 20s when we packed up my truck and drove across the states.
We lived in Boston together for several years until I got my own place.
I am always willing to try something new work-wise, and am quick to move up the ladder.
I've been a bowling alley mechanic, a professional driver, and an optician. And during those 6 years in Boston, I was an electronics salesman, a dispatcher, and a payroll driver.
One day while working as a payroll driver, I was making a delivery in a high-rise, and I got in an elevator full of people.
My anxiety rises when I feel claustrophobic and don't have any way to escape easily.
While we were going up the elevator, it just stopped midway.
And then it dropped 2 feet.
Exciting.
With the mounting fear of the elevator dropping completely, people were yelling and getting hysterical.
I went numb. I'm not a screamer, but I knew I had to get out of there. I felt lightheaded and my heart started racing.
During those terrifying moments, we all managed to pry open the doors.
The opening between the elevator and the next floor was about 2 feet, and we each climbed through.
This experience deepened the groove of anxiety within me, and then a dental issue I developed around that time called soft teeth syndrome.
I suffered through bone scrapings and 13 root canals. It created so much stress that I couldn't even sit in a dental chair again.
Meanwhile, my parents were having some health issues back home, so I returned to California to help out.
While I was home, my brother taught me to fly an airplane. What a thrill it was to be up above the ground in a bird's-eye view of the land.
Whether it's a plane or a car, I feel so free as long as I'm in the driver's seat.
Don't make me be a passenger, though. Then I want to split as soon as possible.
As long as I'm in control on the adventures that my inner mother encourages, I can deal with my inner father, who silently chants, "It's dangerous out there."
While I was having great fun learning to fly planes with my brother, something out east was tugging at my soul.
The Smoky Mountains. For as long as I could remember, I wanted to be there.
I followed the call and secured an apartment in Tennessee by phone.
And took to the open road.
I easily found a job there, but it was halfway across the state from my new apartment.
It was still worth it to me. I loved living in the mystical beauty of the Smoky Mountains, and my dream job had arrived.
I'd be driving big rigs.
The freedom to see different areas of the country is a lot of fun to me. I've never been afraid of the road.
I remember just where I was on a long-haul drive in New Jersey when I received the phone call that my dad had died.
I immediately pulled over into a rest area to be with the pain of the loss and being so far away.
My dad had Parkinson's disease and cancer.
My mom had already made her transition by then. She was a smoker and had developed lung cancer.
I'm so glad that Dad was there the day I pushed through my anxiety and got my pilot's license. It was the last time I flew.
After Dad's death, my sister Sharon came out to visit with me in Tennessee and brought a book called A Return to Love from Marianne Williamson.
It was so good, I ran right out and purchased the full A Course in Miracles.
After that, I listened to spiritual audio tapes at the time, and I remember driving through Cades Cove, a wildlife park in the Smoky Mountains, listening to these tapes.
I was thinking about how I've always felt so deeply connected to nature and other people.
So I said to Sharon, these teachings are how I've been living my life. It's just really amazing.
We were Catholic, and I didn't realize that there were other churches around that believed this way. So we found unity together.
My brother Mike liked the New Thought beliefs too, and he and his wife Jill came to Unity of Walnut Creek around then too.
About 7 years ago, I heard about Circulation Day here at Unity of Walnut Creek.
I had a nice bicycle that I wasn't using anymore, so I brought it to the drop-off day.
John Ortiz was volunteering there, and he said,
"This is unbelievable. I've been praying for a bicycle."
"Well, then here you go."
He invited me to come to Unity the following Sunday.
I wasn't comfortable going to church by myself, so he met me at the door that Sunday, and we came in together.
When I told him I played drums, he said, "I'm going to get you in."
No, whoa, wait a minute, don't move so fast.
Don't worry, John said. Scotty will help you.
Scotty and the crew did eventually usher me into the music team, and we're with love, acceptance, and patience.
The first Sunday, I was far from ready to drum in front of people, but I could not wait to return to Unity the next week.
Go ahead.
It took at least a year before I got up the nerve to drum.
When I started, I was trying to find a way to enjoy it rather than just getting through it.
And then one day, I played a Carol Manson concert here, and she sang a song called "Turn Me Around," and it did exactly that for me.
I was thinking, we can't do this kind of music in church. Yet we were.
I didn't know where she was going with the song, but the drumming was flowing through me, and Brooksy didn't miss a key.
I was completely inside the music, not thinking about anything or anyone around me.
Carol's lyrics and projection were phenomenal. This intense energy was building as she was singing about a brand new day. The cymbal rolls were just coming through, and it ended in a big round of applause.
This was the turning point for where I am now. My drumming performance anxiety completely left me after that song.
I realized that I can give over to spirit and let the music happen through me.
I wanted to volunteer more at Unity, and then I met Sherry, who taught me how to run the camera. I even started doing shoots for her for work.
The most incredibly positive things have happened to me at Unity.
One day, Terry walked in. And I said, "Who is that?" I felt an immediate connection.
I saw someone signing for her and realized she was deaf, and I was intrigued with her.
John thought we would be a good match.
Me? Go up and ask her out? I couldn't do that, no way. The fact that a communication intervention was needed made it far easier.
Over the course of the year, we got to know each other as friends, and we were married 4 years ago.
It's so wonderful to have similar spiritual views, enjoy spiritual books together, and have the same outlook on a higher power and source energy.
And we are a great fit.
This is the first relationship that Terry has had with someone willing to learn sign language.
It's not been easy for me, and I'm slow, but she's patient and enthusiastic about how much we can communicate with sign language now.
Terry has been such a great source of support for me, too.
In addition to the anxiety I deal with, I've been diagnosed with a neurological condition called chorea.
If I keep my legs down while I sit, tingling and heat goes up my spine, and more anxiety starts manifesting.
I found ways to manage it. I have a calming seated position with one leg up.
I've learned to redirect neurological signals by tapping or applying pressure. It takes my concentration away and my mind from creating a sense of calm.
If the nerve pain fires in a certain way, my body can snap like a rubber band and take me down to my knees.
It only lasts a few minutes, but I often worry it's going to happen, especially while I'm drumming.
Ultimately, I know I'm in a loving place here, and whatever happens, it'll be okay.
I love to be of service. I'm now the head of the AV team and security at Unity.
I would not have imagined that when I started coming here.
Spirit always has a better plan.
Unity has offered me a lot of growth opportunities.
Do you know how often we're invited to close our eyes in meditation or hold hands in circles here? These things are terribly nerve-wracking for me.
I meditate in the morning by myself, 30, 45 minutes, no problem.
When I meditate with others, I get concerned they will be disturbed by my movements to calm my nerves.
If I'm holding hands on both sides, I feel trapped. Everyone looks so happy making the connection, and I'm looking for the exit.
I want to feel connected in groups, so I've persisted through the challenges.
This week I completed my first class at Unity, the 4 Pillars of Prosperity tithing class.
The battle of my mind went on, and I felt like I was fighting to stay in the circle in those class sessions, but I did it for 6 weeks.
I've seen counselors and reading books and getting down to the root of this anxiety.
A month ago, I met a health counselor who's helping me with nutrition and supplements. I'm weaning off soda and drinking more water.
And just 2 weeks ago, I tithed the full 10% of income for the first time in class, and it really felt great.
I don't have to hold on to or try to control the flow of money or anything else.
When I think of all the monetary gifts I've received in my life, it makes me want to give more. It's really a cool feeling.
I love to be of service in honor of our connection to another, and I love to feel free.
I know I'll get past the blocks and feel the freedom of flying a plane again.
Spiritually, I've touched an even sweeter freedom than flying.
The kind that's beyond my control.
Like those suspended moments drumming the Carol Manson song or the sweet release I felt when I tithed the first time in class.
These freedoms are not born of control. They come from complete surrender to Spirit.
And no plane can take me that high.
Let's bless Larry with a song. You are a blessing to the world.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world.
Thank you.
So we told Larry, since he's on the drums and telling his story today, that we would invite another storyteller in for Zula's story. And so Trey Boxer has agreed to join us for this second story.
Hi, I'm Zula, and this is my story.
I was a mixed-race child in the late 50s when mixed-race marriages were still illegal.
I look like my mother more than my brothers or two sisters do. Mom is Hawaiian and Polish born. She was born during World War II, and Hawaiians were not treated well then.
When she married my dad, a black man from Arkansas, his family did not accept her, so the racial hatred she had always felt from others continued.
I was the firstborn, and my mother chose the Aboriginal name Zula for me. My name is linked to Poland, Africa, and Australia.
My name became yet another reason for the kids at school to ridicule me, so I went by my middle name, Michelle.
A lot of ugliness happened to our family that I internalized and never spoke about.
The deepest imprint of hatred was left on my 3-year-old self. My family lived in Germany at the time, and we were at Oktoberfest. A woman walked right up to me out of earshot of my parents, and she said, "You should not be here."
I froze. With every cell of my body, I knew what she meant. I shouldn't exist at all. The walls went up right then. I call them my Uzi-proof walls.
The world told me I was ugly based on my skin color and features. At school, the kids chased me around and the teachers looked down on me because of my race.
My family operated in secret, so my heartache was kept private. No one else could possibly understand anyway. I was one of a kind.
Even though I had siblings, I felt alone. As siblings, we are different shades and different hair, and apparently all of that was proportional to our worth as measured by the world around us.
When my mother's family gets together, we look like the United Nations. Her brother married an Irish woman, and her sister married a black man.
Collectively, we range from white-skinned with red hair to black-skinned with afros.
When we were kids, my grandfather took all of us out for ice cream, and the man behind the counter said, "You brought the whole neighborhood in."
Nope, my grandfather said, "They're all mine." At least he claimed us.
My dad was in the Army, and we moved a lot. On one of our moves, we were headed from Tacoma back to D.C.
It was in 1969 in the middle of the night, and Dad had a new job to report to at 7 a.m. in the morning.
We were looking for a hotel and kept getting further and further from the military base until we found one with a vacancy sign out front.
The kids were all asleep except me. I never have been able to sleep, so I was pretend sleeping in the back seat. My dad got back in the car and said that there was no room available.
We sat there for a long time in silence, marked by the whispers from my parents in the front seat.
Finally, at about 3 a.m., my mother went in and came back with a key.
My mother would be crushed if she knew that I knew that. I never told. She wanted so much for me to be safe and have a different life than the one she had.
So many ugly things happened to us. We came out to get in the car, and all 4 tires were slashed.
Despite the hatred, my father did well and worked hard. He didn't go to college, but he must have had great aptitude because he became an engineer in the Army.
His exact job was, of course, a secret.
Our family wasn't really close, and we didn't touch very often. Neither of my parents seemed to know how to be physically affectionate with us.
In high school, I would always jump back if I were touched, when I was touched incidentally even, in a crowded hallway.
I was exposed to a new layer of racism in high school. I had never heard the term high yeller until I watched the Spike Lee film, and then I experienced it firsthand. In the hierarchy of skin color, I witnessed and was subjected to more ugly judgments.
I was also surrounded by closeted gay boys in high school. I remember being with my friend John, and he wouldn't stop crying. I said, "What is it, John?"
Through his tears, he choked out, "I'm gay."
Another gay male friend
I asked him why he didn't tell me sooner, even though I already knew. And he said it was because he thought I wouldn't love him anymore.
Another gay male friend was a Marine, and it was hard for him to be who he is. It hurt so much. That kind of judgment for who I am or someone else is, it truly hurts.
I was also getting the message that I was less than as a female.
My brother seemed to live a completely different life than I did. My parents always treated him differently than my sisters and me. They focused on making his life easier, and they had higher expectations for him.
It was assumed that he would graduate from high school, and I didn't know it at the time, that it was also my mother's greatest secret, hope that I too would graduate from high school.
I didn't think of it as a great accomplishment, but I was the first female in my family to graduate, and for my mom, that was huge. She couldn't stop crying at my ceremony.
I learned later why that was so important to her. Her crushed dreams were cast upon me, the daughter most like her, as deep hopes.
My mother signed us up for all kinds of activities, and one of those was dance.
Dance is really why I'm still here. I find so much freedom and healing in dance. It lets things out, allows me to release what needs to be released.
Dancing and music are such a part of me. It was what I wanted to do for a career, but I wasn't allowed to.
We lived in D.C., not New York. In D.C., sensible people take a civil service test and go to work for the government for 20 years. That's security.
But I didn't need job security. I needed freedom, and as a young adult, I persisted. I was drawn to movement and creativity and became a dance teacher and a graphic designer.
In 1998, I moved to California with my husband, who had been transferred. Naturally, he was an undercover agent.
At our wedding, his best man commented on what a better man he had become. I thought he just meant he was happier now.
In time, my husband regressed to his old relationship patterns and became mentally abusive toward me.
We eventually divorced.
Sleep was always elusive for me. I started drinking to fall asleep, and that led me to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Through the 12 steps, I started doing forgiveness work. Step 9 is making amends.
My mom and I had a difficult relationship, and I really wanted to mend it. So I wrote her a heartfelt letter, and we stopped yelling at each other.
I was spiritually seeking. I started dating a Mormon man. I learned a lot about the Bible and was even baptized Mormon, but I knew I did not belong.
I just didn't know where to go.
Then my friend Tammy brought me to Unity of Walnut Creek's crab feed in 2008. Everyone was dancing and having so much fun. The energy was so cool. I started coming here.
The way I looked at me began to change. Freedom is what grabbed me. I felt my spirit could soar here.
God is here. Love is here. I felt it from a lot of people here. Finally, I was among people who are open and, for the most part, non-judgmental.
I was hungry for more. I came to every SEE class and every other kind of class. Inner questions started getting answers, and dots were connected.
I took every one of Reverend Sheila's classes. She really helped me understand Jesus. I didn't know who he was before.
Unity helped me to understand why I never felt right in church, no matter which church I was going to, Baptist, Catholic, or Mormon. I never did belong.
Until now. What I realized at Unity that I never knew as a little child is that I am one.
I had eczema my whole life, and just before I started coming to Unity, I had the most horribly painful flare-up that I had to go to the ER naked with a coat wrapped around me.
The reason is clear to me now. I needed to forgive on a cellular level. I forgave the woman who told my 3-year-old self that I didn't have the right to exist.
I forgave the man at the hotel front desk who refused my family a place to sleep.
I forgave my parents for the many hurtful things that happened growing up. I forgave people in general. I forgave myself and even God.
I never blamed God for anything, but I forgave anyway. And oh, what freedom I have found in forgiveness.
My heart was healing and my spirit was awakening.
But my mind was still sleepless, and I had bouts of uncontrolled depression and mania. Finally, I went to see a psychiatrist and was diagnosed as bipolar.
The last time I had a manic episode, I was taking the class Finding Yourself in Transition with Reverend Sheila, and I realized I was in the wilderness, and it was okay to be there. I didn't know how, but I knew that it would end.
That was the first time I was aware that I was in a manic state, so I didn't lose it. I just watched as a witness.
I'm on a whole new frontier of healing now. I prayed recently knowing that if I really need help at this time in my life, it will be there. I've done almost everything on my own up until now.
My recent prayers led me to a very generous counselor who took me on and started working from that 3-year-old experience forward.
I am freeing myself to be myself on every level now, mind, heart, and spirit. And it's not just about me. I felt really motivated to tell my story today because of the hurtful things that are going on in the world.
People are not aware of the depth of hurt that bigotry causes.
I think what's happening in our country and in our world is happening for a reason. To awaken us, to heal us, and to return us to our natural state of oneness.
Recently, I watched a video on Facebook where a white man and some black men were having a conversation.
One of the black men, Charles, said he wanted his children to be happy. to have a good job, and to go to school like everyone wants for their children.
And this young white guy seemed shocked that Charles would want the same thing for his children as he did. Tears were just streaming down my face.
In the past, I would have kept this deep sadness locked inside and numbed it.
That day, I freely cried and talked about it. I talked to my counselor and later with some friends over dinner.
By the time I got home, I was able to pray for this young white man who simply didn't understand. I sent he and his children love because that's what they need.
That's what the world needs right now, love. All of this hate is coming out of fear and teachings of ignorance. That young white man was a poster child for ignorance.
I could resort to calling him names and be mean about it, but what good would that do?
When we judge someone else, we're judging ourselves. When we say mean things, we're saying them to ourselves.
I have a process that works for me now. I talk about the things that cause pain, and I pray about it.
The silence needs to be broken. People are afraid to stand up and voice their true feelings.
People often ignore off-colored jokes, but we need all of us to have the courage to stand up and say it's not okay.
And it's not just my mom or Charles. Even a terrorist wants their kids to graduate from high school, to be loved and thrive in life.
My mom and I are connecting on a whole new level now. I sent her some spiritual material, and she's interested in learning more.
We can all progress further than we ever imagined. Along with my siblings and me, my mom went back to complete high school and even earned her own college degrees.
It's never too late. We can all succeed and heal. It's about being open to who we truly are.
I know this now in my bones. Not only am I supposed to be here, but I'm needed here to take a stand for truth, and so are you.
The dance of all of our beautiful human diversity is a cause for celebration, a return home to oneness.
We are one.
Let's bless Sula with a song.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul.
And thank you, Trey, for helping us share this important story. So much going on in our world, isn't there? A big part of why Zula wanted to tell her story today. And I know a lot of us want to talk about what's going on, so there's an opportunity coming up on Thursday, August 31st. We're going to have a council gathering just to talk about it. how you feel, and how we can move energy, how we can raise up the consciousness together. So come join us at 7 o'clock here in the sanctuary on August 31st for a conversation. And then, interestingly enough, just as if maybe we didn't get it about the emerging shadows and the exposed wounds, tomorrow there's an eclipse. So the moon decided, all right, they're not quite getting it. Let's have a shadow cast across a swath of the United States. And so together we'll join here when it's at its peak here in Walnut Creek from 10 to 10:30 in a prayer circle, just to be here to usher in that light together. So please join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. if you're able. Otherwise, we know we'll just be joining with you in consciousness wherever you are. Thanks.
Well, I have a feeling the people that share the stories could relate. I hope they can relate to this song. I was going through a separation from a marriage. Is that how you say it? I was separating from the woman I was married to for a couple of years, and the future had just looked like bleak, and we had a son who was 2, and then I realized I have to clean this house out. I was staying in the house, and luckily a friend came over to help me start that cleaning, and I realized again, the physical and the spiritual and the energetic are all one thing, and it's called free. And I hope you'll sing the chorus with me when it comes. I called up the radio station, told the lady I liked what she played. I said the music made me happy. As I cleaned out this old house today, I said I'm clearing out cobwebs in this house and in my mind. It's amazing all the junk that collects over time. I threw out that old couch, set it out on the street. My friend made a sign out of cardboard. It just said free. It was amazing. And in almost no time, someone took that old funky thing, but I kept the sign. 'Cause the sign said, sing it with me, free. We're gonna do it again. The sign said, free. Oh, you're good. Well, you know the story. You think you found the one, but after a while, all you know is you ain't having no fun. You check all your options. Each way you turn, the road looks rough, and all you know in your heart is the status quo's not good enough, 'cause you just gotta be free. And that's all you know. You just gotta be free. I can almost hear the clear and silent bells of freedom ringing. I can almost hear the clear and silent bells of freedom ringing. So lady at the radio station, could you play just one more song? It's a catchy little thing and you could sing along. It's from a recent release, a relative unknown. It's not in stores yet, but I could sing the chorus for you right here on the phone, and the song's called Free. What do you think about the title? The song's called Free. I can almost hear the clear and silent bells of freedom ringing. I can almost hear the clear and silent bells of freedom ringing. And it sounds like freedom. It sounds like freedom. It sounds like freedom. It sounds like freedom. I just gotta be free. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us here today, Stephen. We really, really appreciate you. And for Larry and for Zula, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for sharing your hearts with us. You've really made a difference in the world and in this community. So thank you both. I don't see Larry, but I know he's around here somewhere. So hugs and kisses to both of you guys for the courage that it took to get up here and do this with us. Thank you so much. Whew. Now, are you guys all staying for the meeting after this service? Yes, okay, because we're going to do some more visiting and talking, and hope you guys all stay for the community gathering. Thank you. Oh, what a day. Thank you guys for being here today. It is so special to be here with you on Sundays. Oh, and our prayer chaplains are available after this service to provide a personal prayer support. They're wearing the lavender stoles, and whether you have a joy or a concern, they're here to pray with you today because it's a very powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness. And now it's time for our prosperity celebration. So let's open our hearts to the consciousness of giving as we align with the universal law of circulation, which is, as we give, so shall we receive. Because in truth, we experience no lack or limitation. Abundance is truly our true nature. There are a variety of ways that you can give to Unity of Walnut Creek. For credit card donations, you can use PushPay on your smartphone, or take out the envelope and the clipboard in front of you in the back of each chair. And for those of you at home, we don't ever forget you. You can also do PushPay or click on the Donate Live button, the Donate button on the Watch Live page. Now I encourage you to take your tithes and your love offering in your hand and in your heart and repeat our affirmation with me. Together, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. Thank you so much for being here.
So I'm from New Jersey, and I'm proud of that, believe it or not. And, as I tell friends, it inspired me to travel at an early age. It's a true story. I went down to the coast, or what we call the shore back then. I guess they still call it that, you know. It was the first time I'd really learned by watching something all by myself. I must have been 9 or 10 years old. I remember my first trip to the ocean, how the big waves just kept rolling in, and how the first one knocked me right over. I swallowed water and I scraped up my chin. Well, then I waded in shallow water and just watched all the other kids swim till I saw this big wave start breaking, and I couldn't believe it. I saw this one kitty just dove right in. He dove right in. He dove right in. And he came out on the other side, laughing, laughing. He dove right in. He dove right in. And he came out on the other side, laughing. Well, I never had so much fun as I did that day. I swam till my lips turned purple. My mom had to drag me away, and I remember staring out the back of the station wagon on the Garden State, just knowing I'd learned something. Well, the years rolled by, and I just kept my head above water, but it's like I'd forgotten something that I really should remember till the pain got so bad, and somehow by grace I surrendered and I dove right in. You want to sing this with me? I dove right in, I dove right in, I dove right in, and I came out on the other side, and I came out on the other side laughing, laughing, laughing. I dove right in, I dove right in, and I came out on the other side. I love when you sing and I'm not. Let's do that chorus again. I dove right in. I dove right in. I dove right in. I came out on the other side. And I came out on the other side. Laughing, laughing. And I dove right in. I dove right in. And I came out on the other side. Laughing.
Whew, feeling so blessed. Thank you for the beautiful music, Stephen, for the amazing stories, Zula and Larry, and for the help reading, Trey, and for these gifts. Let us bless these gifts together. There's a blessing coming up on your screen. Together, we give thanks for the ever-increasing, unceasing flow of absolute good in our lives now. So it is. Let's sing our children in with Marching in the Light. Marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God.
We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God.
The children are also telling their own stories of triumph while we're experiencing our stories of triumph in here, and Lonnie tells me that often they involve parents. Let's bless our children and teachers together. Youth and teachers, you are loved, special, and important. The light of God shines through you. Let's join hands and close out with our prayer of protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let
You are the love and the light and the peace on earth right now. So let your light shine and have fun.